Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday, July the 31st, and time for the Coffee Ann program to get underway as it has for, 76 years or so. And we just keep doing the same thing every weekday morning because circumstances change and different things are interesting to talk about and all the rest of that stuff. We have in the studio today Romeo Berthume.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, Romeo. Nice to have you with us today.
Beautiful day.
Yes, it certainly is, isn't it? Huh?
One of the nicest.
Refreshingly nice and cool this morning.
Good sleeping weather. An 11 out of a 10, if I may say so.
11 out of a 10, you think? All right, a little poetic license with that, perhaps. I don't know. And also with us today is, yes, I see. There she is. Boy George and Culture Club is the T-shirt she's sporting for our show this morning. Yes. It's Melissa Murray. How you doing there, Melissa? Good morning, good morning. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me. Yep, I saw this concert last weekend.
You did?
I did.
Oh, that was, that's the one you didn't have to shelter in your car, right?
It was a little wet.
The Jason Aldean concert, they had the shelter in their car at Xfinity.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because the storm came through Saturday night. And he finally got on stage at 10 o'clock. The storms had gone by, and there had been a tornado nearby.
Nope,
So-
this was
Wasn't
the
it?
night
Wasn't it
before.
Xfinity?
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
it was. Okay.
Right. So there was a downpour that night, but everyone was under the cover, so
right.
undercover. We got a little wet going in and out. That's about it.
Okay. Very well. Yeah. So.
When you say undercover, is it because they didn't want to be seen? They were undercover? No?
No, I'm a very proud Culture Club fan. I'm not embarrassed at all.
There you go.
Well, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, all kinds of interesting things happening. I got a stack of stuff on the control board here this morning that you might want to talk about. If the audience would like to hear us talk about a particular topic or story or something like that, then do give us a phone call and let us know what's on your mind. Then they'll pass it in here to the studio, and we will do our best to address the situation. I still have that picture up there. Have you noticed, Melissa?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's Melissa with her fish.
My twin fish.
Oh, my God.
She caught them both on the same line.
On the same line, I reeled them
Romeo.
in.
Same line. What are the chances?
I don't know. I got beginner's luck.
When was this?
A couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And I still have some bluefish in my freezer. I just took some out.
You haven't finished eating it all?
No, it was giant.
Those are large little buggers out there, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're only supposed to eat fish like maybe once or twice a week because of the mercury in them. So.
And where was this?
Right off of Block Island.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thanks. It was fun. It was pretty awesome.
Well, I saw the picture up on the screen, and I says, well, I'll probably have to put that up there again for her.
I understand the smile now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a great campaign photo, don't you think, Melissa?
Not for the
Maybe
vegans.
not. All right. Well, getting serious for a few moments, very serious matter happened here in Woonsocket, and Woonsocket police and reporters and things like that are on the scene over in Fairmount, on Fairmount Street. Just after 2 this morning, police were called, and they found a man in his 50s was shot and pronounced dead at the scene. A woman was also shot, taken to the hospital. No word yet on the extent of her injuries. A 3-year-old and a 20-year-old were also taken from the home. They were not injured. Animal control came and took the dog away for its safety. And at last check, the update from Channel 12 TV News is that the police are just kind of hanging around waiting for a judge to sign a search warrant so they can go in and more extensively explore the premises, because they've got so many rules. It's one thing you go in and you find this. Now, if you want to investigate what happened, you're going to have to look at other places in the house.
If it's not in plain sight, you need a warrant.
That's
you
right.
can't go through closets and things.
They're waiting for the search warrant on that.
And if they don't do it right, one could literally get away with murder. Cases have been
Yep.
thrown out of court.
Evidence, yeah,
for
thrown out.
technical reasons.
Well, it sounds like a very sad situation
Very
developed
sad.
Oh, yeah.
there on Fairmount Street. So we'll be looking forward to more information on that. We talked about the fact that a tornado touched down nearby in Foxborough. It takes a couple days for the National Weather Service to say, "Yep, that was a tornado." Seriously, they
Wow.
we've had them here. We've had tornadoes in North Smithfield
Yep.
that stopped at Slatersville and
They knew
didn't
better.
come into Woonsocket, but they were heading right at us.
Yeah.
And I've gone out and I've seen tops of the trees are all gone. Looks like the loggers have been through here. But the National Weather Service won't say
Not
that
a-
it's a tornado until they are satisfied that it was a tornado. So it requires an on-scene visit from the National Weather Service and a review of the records of the time. But anyway, they have they said, well, it's an EF1, a little baby tornado, 105 mile an hour circular wind.
Oh, that's it?
That's a baby.
That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a baby.
That's a baby.
No big. That's just a baby tornado. Makes you wonder what the big ones are like, huh?
Right.
No.
No, you don't
All you
wonder.
have to do is watch the news.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So that's it. The
Yeah,
teenager we told you about in Westerly that went out in the rip current. They did find the body last night.
Sad.
15 years old.
Wow.
From New London, Connecticut. He disappeared last Thursday night in a rip current off Dunes Park Beach. I don't know where that is in Westerly.
I don't
Anybody
either.
been there? No, I don't know.
Somewhere in Rhode Island.
No, well, yeah, of course it is. It's in Westerly. We know that. But I don't know exactly where
Yeah.
that is. I know where the harbor is and,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And of course, Mesquamacut is the big state beach there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a very, very sad. But at least they have the body now. Can you just imagine what it's like? When somebody goes, you can't find
No
them?
closure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
The rip currents were really strong this weekend everywhere. I did an artist show at, I always call it Matunic, but it's not. It's South Kingston Town Beach. And there were
It's
only,
not Carpenter's Beach. It's the other one.
yes, it's like right before Carpenter's Beach, the town beach. And they were warning riptides. So they have 4 chairs there, and they determined that, well, either they didn't have enough staff, or they determined you can only swim 2 out of the 4 areas, and you were not allowed to go past your waist. And I did hear the triple whistle, so I don't know what happened
Triple
there.
whistle.
But when the lifeguard blows their whistle, it's, hey, get off the rocks, or
Yeah.
come, you're out too far.
Right.
When they do
It's an attention signal.
3 short whistles, that means I need help.
Okay.
So, the rip currents were everywhere, and they even came out on the loudspeaker and said, "Don't go in over your waist."
I
You
heard-
get 2 storms out there,
yeah.
in the ocean.
It's been a
churning
bad-
things up.
It's been a
And,
bad summer.
That'll,
Yeah.
that's the current. In fact, you could be up to your knees and have problems.
That's
Yep.
true. You don't have to go out
it
very
depends
far.
on how stable you are. I mean, a young person, but an older person, perhaps out there, you'll stand there and it'll pull the sand out from underneath your feet. And if you're not really nimble and quickly rearrange where your feet are, you'll lose your balance and fall over. And so, even out to your knees, not advisable, although less dangerous.
Yeah, I was surprised that they said you could go in up to your waist, because if they're seeing rip currents forming, they said rip currents were forming. They can see the pattern.
Yep.
I was surprised they were letting people go in that far. But
Well, my understanding of that is that in waist deep water, you don't swim. You're touching the bottom.
right, yeah,
When you go out to your chest, depending on what the wave state is, your feet leave the bottom
That's
and
right.
you float for a little bit. That's where you get in trouble. But if your feet are constantly in touch with the bottom, you're at least know what's happening. Because where I've been in a situation like that with a rip current that takes you out, it was someone who was swimming who didn't realize that they were in trouble before they were in trouble.
yeah.
Because it comes on quickly, and from there you don't perceive the tiny differences that you're being pulled away from the shore. But if your feet are on the seabed,
So-
then you know exactly where you are.
I have a question. What's the difference between a rip current and an undertow?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Undertow is is a much more old.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Undertow is from the 1800s into
Ooh.
the 1900s, and then when everybody was tired of saying Undertow,
Okay.
they started saying Rip Current.
so back then they didn't they didn't have rip currents. They had undertows.
Oh, no, they had 'em.
Okay. All right.
They had them.
I mean, I remember people saying, watch out for the undertow. It's really strong
right.
today.
I still hear that
Right.
term.
Yeah.
The undertow
Yeah, me
is a
too.
phenomenon of it taking the sand out from underneath you,
Right.
caused by a rip current.
I see.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
How do you? What do you do when you get caught in one of those, Dave?
You
Well,
don't
that's pretty simple.
Don't
Pray,
fight
right?
it.
You pray.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't fight it. Don't
Yeah.
try to swim into it. You will never win.
I lost a friend this way. Young guy, strong swimmer, self-confident, type A personality,
Yeah.
and he got in one, and he just tried to swim back, and swim against it, but it was pulling him out faster than he was
Yeah.
swimming toward it, and of course, after a while, when you see you're not making progress, you get a little concerned. Anybody would, no matter how self-confident you are, you realize, hey, I could be in trouble here.
Yep.
And a little adrenaline rush goes
Yep.
through you. You go a little harder, and before you know it, now you are fatigued.
Yeah.
Now you can't do well.
Yep.
And now you may be in a situation where you don't have the ability to tread water for enough time to get you back to shore.
So
and of
they-
course, you're concerned because if you get out just so far, nobody sees you.
Yeah.
Right. So it takes you out, and you go with it.
So don't swim alone and don't fight it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not exactly true. You're right, but not 100%. What you should do if you find yourself being pulled out to sea in the ocean current is to swim along the shoreline. Now it's pulling you out. Swim even parallel with the shoreline.
Yeah.
Two things happen. First of all, you can go slower. You're still being pulled out. But you will, because rip currents often are circular in nature, you can then swim out of that rip current. As long as you're in the rip current, you're not going to swim out of it. But if you swim along the coast,
Parallel.
parallel to
parallel.
the shore, to the
Yeah.
beach,
Yeah.
then you will eventually swim to a place where the rip current is diminished and then not effective.
I heard this morning on the way in that some experts are recommending that people wear life preservers when they swim.
Of course they are.
75%
right.
of all drownings are the result of people not wearing life preservers. So there are people, life preservers do save lives, but it's kind of weird to go swimming with a life preserver. Who wants to do that? Right?
Nobody wants to
Not
do
very
it.
many
Unless you're on a
people.
boat fishing.
Just don't whisper it. Don't whisper it too loud next to Smith Street because somebody will make it a law.
No,
You
no,
you've
no.
got a bunch of overreactionary people who want to
Well,
save
I see
everybody
I know.
and
Their
pat themselves on the back.
their intentions are good. Let's at least say that. I
Well-
see a lot of little kids wearing life preservers at the beach.
Yeah.
I ca-
Yeah.
Well, that's good, but
I call-
adults, very few.
I call legislators like that immature,
Immature?
because they don't realize how much unintended consequences they get myopic about what their goal is, and they don't realize how many people they're affecting negatively by their little mission. And that to me is an immature legislator.
Do you agree with that, Senator?
I think that as long as the life preserver companies don't have lobbyists, we'll be all set.
Oh, it's all about lobbying.
I'm
huh?
joking, of course,
I know.
kind of.
Right. so, have you been hit on by the lobbyists on occasion?
Oh, sure, everyone, yeah,
Everybody does, yeah.
everyone does, yeah. Yes.
And you smile and say, thank you very much, see you.
Sometimes they can offer some really good insight, and sometimes you just have to be able to read.
Take the pressure,
Yeah.
literally.
Well,
But-
you still make your own decision anyway. but you're right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. It's always nice to have information. You can always reject it.
That's right. It's always good to say, like, look, I sat down with both sides. I heard what they had to say, and, we come to an agreement.
Yeah.
Nobody's happy.
8:15. Let's take a moment for a break here. We'll be right back with more of the Coffee Am program. For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON AM and FM. Back here on Coffee and for this 31st of July. Dave Richards here along with Melissa Murray and Romeo Berthium. Melissa's gotten herself a piping hot cup of coffee.
Yes.
So you're all set to go. Romeo, I noticed you don't have any. Did you want a cup of coffee?
I don't know if there are any more pods in there. Are there?
Yes, there are.
Okay,
There
I'll,
are.
I'll get one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
no
plenty.
problem. No rush.
There's plenty.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. We have 3/4 of the show to go yet.
Well,
I'll
I'll
I
be
don't know
fine.
why they did this. Somebody opened this up. I don't know that's a. Does anybody else care about that but me?
No.
When you open
No.
when you open up the cups, you open it so that the bottom of the cup is out. That way you don't put your fingers
On the
the
top.
part that people touch to their lips.
Thank you, sir.
So that's why I like to do it that way. But
That's
somebody
good.
else had done it differently.
Wow.
Care for a napkin there, Ms.
Oh,
Murray?
thank you.
Not
well, I can
good.
tell you it wasn't me because I have my own cup.
Well,
That's right. You have your own cup.
now we know why they
Aren't
call
you
this
some-
coffee in. What's the end part? Okay.
All right. Well, listen. I'll let you take care of the rest of that there, Romeo,
will.
so I can continue on
Yeah,
with what's
sure.
going on. The Rhode Island Attorney General's office says that it is indicting 5 people, including a judge, in a theft case. The defendants are accused of stealing property from the estate of a Cranston man who was named James Barbieri and died in 2021. The estate included lots of interesting things, including a collection of sports cards, which was estimated by a third party at a value of over $1 million for sports
Wow.
cards. That can happen, right?
Yeah.
The indicted judge is Priscilla DeMayo. Anybody heard of her?
No.
Me either. She serves on the probate court in Johnston. DeMayo is due for an arraignment on Wednesday of this week on counts of obtaining money or attempting to obtain money under false pretenses and providing a false document to a public official.
That's huge.
Isn't it? Especially when you're a judge.
Huge.
I mean, there's lots of different things that can go wrong in your life. People can make bad decisions. People can just decide to behave badly. And sometimes people are well-meaning, but they're not knowledgeable of the law. They don't realize that what they're doing does violate a law. But when you're a judge, you don't get to skate on that.
Your job is to know and interpret the law. That's it.
Usually judges, I think almost 100% of the time, judges are former lawyers.
Yeah.
Who
Almost
you
all the
would
time.
expect
Yep.
know the law.
Yes.
Because that was their profession.
Well, safe to say if this probate judge is found guilty of these charges, she will be a former judge.
Oh gosh, it sure seems
yes.
that way, doesn't it?
Meanwhile, is she suspended from her duties, or do you know, or is that part of the story?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
Well, this all just happened on Friday.
Okay. What do
So
you-
I imagine there's still some dust to be settled here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, isn't that interesting?
What's up, Cranston?
Yeah. Now, interesting thing about this next story, also from Westerly, but a happier story. Did you hear about this one? This sounds like the sort of thing that everybody be talking about on social media all weekend.
Nope. I can tell you I probably haven't heard it because it's not even ringing a bell yet.
Okay. Sandra Sikorsky and her fiance Ken Steinkamp were down in Westerly at the Bridge Restaurant and Oyster Bar.
Oh, yes, I did hear
You
about
did
this.
hear about
I
this.
didn't know it was Westerly.
When among the clams something had escaped the notice of the cook. One of the clams, they say that it was a little critter that probably had been sitting on the bottom of the ocean undisturbed for a half a century, had developed a pearl that if it were a diamond, diamonds are measured in carats, it would have been a 6-carat diamond.
Holy moly! I didn't know it was that big.
A lovely large pearl.
Wow.
And so she put it into her engagement ring, had it
Yes.
installed into her engagement
Nice.
ring. Can you imagine the cook? Jeez, I missed
Yeah.
that.
I missed out.
I missed that
I
one.
missed that one.
Wow.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, Romeo,
Yes, sir.
some interesting stuff going on up in Massachusetts.
Always.
Your legislature has finally decided to agree on a $56 billion budget. Now, Melissa,
Ooh.
you know how hard you guys worked on getting a budget
Yes.
and how much effort went into it. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, for any of you folks down there on Smith Street who think it's a really great idea and solves all the world's problems of your full-time legislature, try this one. Massachusetts still doesn't have one, but at least over the weekend, the caucuses got together and said, yeah, we could probably get the votes for that. Yeah, we could probably get the votes for that. Romeo's shaking his head.
Well, when you say Massachusetts doesn't have one, what are you referring to? A budget?
Well, you have a stopgap measure.
But they do have a full-time legislature.
They do.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They do.
So whenever
Expensive.
Rhode Island starts thinking of it,
Yeah.
remember
Yeah, I know.
what happens when you have a full-time legislator. We'll get to it tomorrow. We'll get to it next month.
Oh, we need
we'll
staff.
get-
Maybe 15 people each.
Oh, we have staff. They have
but-
staff
oh,
too. I'm sure they have
But
staff.
they need more staff if they're full-time because they're going to
They
be
They
there all
developed
the
an
time.
entire TV and newsprint
That's what I'm saying.
news organization to make
Yeah.
them look good.
Very expensive.
Very, very expensive.
Yeah.
High definition cameras, and they feed a standard def cable channel with it.
I don't want. I don't want to put Melissa on the spot, but you said 56 billion in Massachusetts.
That's right.
What's the budget in Rhode
13.
Island? Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Well,
Well,
we're smaller, you know.
14.
Oh,
yeah,
I knew
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I knew it would be smaller, but.
We don't go
Okay,
nearly so
13.
far west as Massachusetts does.
And by the way, most of the action takes place in the eastern part of the state. West is almost like rural.
Yeah, it is. It's
I
practically
mean,
New York,
It's
upstate
big,
New York.
but it's or Vermont. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or New Hampshire.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Mostly Vermont.
Senate President Karen Spilka,
Oh,
I think
that-
I said her name
yeah,
right,
Yeah.
says the budget, if it passes both houses when they convene,
Yeah.
represents a major step forward for the state, including priorities of leaders of both chambers. It's the 13th straight year the legislature has failed to enact a budget
Oh
on
my
time.
goodness.
Can you imagine that?
So
I can
remember now, the
because it does
full-time
happen.
legislature doesn't solve all your problems.
Right.
That's true. I agree.
It does happen sometimes.
And you know what? Just
You-
for what it's worth, and I know there's a lot of controversy about Florida, so many things, but the Florida legislature has in their state constitution a provision that says that after 60 days they have to adjourn and they have to have a budget, and they do it.
Other states have that as well, and sometimes it's 90 days.
How do you feel about that? For Rhode Island, let's say.
That we
That's
would
it.
have to have a
have
budget
to.
by,
By the
you know,
end of the
end,
session,
end of
April-
June,
yeah,
June, because
yeah.
the fiscal,
Fiscal year.
year starts on July
Yeah,
1st.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when you're in the legislature, you don't really respect laws the way the average person does. If the law says it has to be done by the end, you say to yourself, I see it happening all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, we make the laws.
Yeah.
Don't give us that baloney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just make a law saying we don't have to.
There's an unspoken rule that, you know,
Yeah.
we need to have it done because otherwise
Yeah.
it reverts. So if we don't have the
Otherwise,
budget.
we have to keep coming back on summer vacation.
The-
It's like summer school.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Folks want to get out. They want to get
Right.
out.
It's a great
Yeah.
motivator, huh?
They are. They're like,
That's
oh, I
why
have a
I
trip.
say the
I have a
full-time
trip planned
legislature
in
is a bad
idea.
July.
Well, I understand that because, you know, being a former teacher, sometimes we would plan vacations around the school calendar, and then when things got changed, it disrupted a lot of things. I can understand
Folks
that.
get salty. I know.
Sure.
I know.
Yeah. And then of course the argument is, well, you have the rest of the year. What are you coming? You have the whole summer, you know. But the thing
Yeah,
is, it doesn't
yeah.
matter
No.
if you book a flight
But-
somewhere
but-
in February and they canceled a vacation because of a major blizzard in January. You are, you know, it's up there.
Oh,
Your
wow.
problem.
So how many years ago? I remember the Massachusetts.
yeah. Yeah.
I think within this century changed it to a full-time legislature instead of part-time.
You mean Mass?
Yeah,
Massachusetts? It wasn't that long. Maybe 20, 25 years
That's
ago.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In this century, they
Okay,
did.
this century. That's true.
And now 13 consecutive years they haven't been able to
That's
get the
right.
job done.
Yeah, we are in the 21st century. I forgot that for a minute. When they say turn of the century, I said, which one? You know, the
know.
21st or the 20th? Yeah.
And we don't see anybody down on Smith Street saying, well, we don't really have to have a budget. Massachusetts doesn't do it.
No, that doesn't happen. We
That
we
doesn't
we,
happen.
we pull it together. So unless there's some major
Yeah.
failings
Yeah.
in the negotiations and one party walks away,
Yeah.
which has happened before,
Yeah.
and then come back in the fall, then.
Now, a
But we
sta-
usually get
wait
it
a
done.
minute,
We
wait-
get
I'm
done.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Something you just said, Melissa, is breaking my brain. You said unless there's major breakdowns in communication and one party walks
One
away.
chamber.
There is only one party in Rhode Island.
No, I said chamber.
A
Sam.
party walking away means nothing.
No, that's true.
Seriously. It seriously means
I
nothing.
think I think I have a question about New Hampshire. For what it's again, here we are talking. They meet only every 2 years, right? Or their session. I think there's an off
Yeah,
year
each
where they
state
don't
is
meet at all.
different, right?
They do a 2-year budget. Is that what they do? You think?
I-
mean,
Oh, yes,
again.
they do. Oh,
I
yeah.
assume so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it in news stories.
Okay.
I imagine there has to be
And they have the,
amendments.
the biggest legislature in the country. They have
Right.
like 400 or 500.
Well, that's why they only get
reps.
together every 2 years.
In a small state like New
The
Hampshire,
gas would kill 'em.
population-wise. The gas. Well, yes and no. Anyway, that's weird.
It is a little strange to me.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine just going in, not seeing anybody else for 2 years
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
You know,
so many
in the old
legislators.
days in the U.S. Congress, when someone was elected in, let's say, November of, let's say, 1884, as an example, they didn't start their session till December of 1885. They were representatives elect for over 13 months. before.
Wow.
That was the the tradition back then.
Crazy.
It seems like a long time from
yeah,
like November
yeah,
to
yeah.
January because we get the inauguration always has to be the
Yeah.
first Tuesday in January.
That's good.
Which
I like that. Mm.
my very first year was New Year's Day.
Happy New Year. I
Pick
got
up.
you.
That was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that
So,
makes sense.
I did my polar plunge and then I got sworn in as a senator. So I
On
made
the
it
same day?
happen.
All on the same
Yeah,
day?
I did it.
Wow.
I did it. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I don't miss my polar
A
plunge.
memorable day.
Yeah.
And then you
I'm like,
caught
well, I
the-
couldn't get my hair wet this year because,
Then you caught those 2 fish. Not same day.
not
but-
the same day. No.
No,
Would've been
there
a little
was some,
cold for that.
some months afterwards. I see. I don't know what you could say about this, but you keep thinking that with all the rules, workplace rules, all the rest of that sort of stuff, that things really shouldn't go wrong on the workplace. But up in Milford, 4 workers are injured.
Yeah.
A scaffold collapsed.
Yeah.
They were working at a home under construction in Milford on Main Street, in the rear of the home. And if the scaffold goes down, you're going down too. That's all
3.
there is to it.
3 of them are seriously injured.
3 of them suffered
Yeah.
serious injuries, right?
Yeah.
Federal workplace safety officials, that's OSHA,
Yeah.
are involved in the investigation that happened
I bet they are.
nearby in Milford.
And if that contractor didn't have a license or didn't register properly with whatever he's supposed to do, he's in deep doo-doo.
Oh, yeah.
That could end the business.
Yeah. And in North Smithfield, thunderstorm on Thursday night. One of the houses got hit,
Oh,
blew off the
yes.
shingles,
Right.
blew out a lot of the electrical system inside the house. Folks were home at the time. They said it sounded like something just went right through the house. It was. It was a lightning bolt.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, very
Everyone's
scary.
okay though.
Everyone
That's
is
true.
okay.
Yeah.
And they say that when these thunderstorms come in, go home, be safe, and
Yeah. right.
don't be standing out on the trees and things
Well,
like
they
that.
went. They went in the house. They thought they were safe. They were, but as you just said, nobody was hurt.
Nobody expects their house to get hit by lightning,
No.
but it
Maybe
does
the neighbor,
happen
not
very
ours.
rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other happy news that we got on Friday, they canceled the silver alert for the North Providence woman because they found her up in Milton, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Back with her family, safe.
They didn't explain why she was in Milton, but
They don't
she,
know how she got there either. Did she walk? Did she
Oh,
drive?
no, she had a car.
Oh, she had a
a little
car.
Celica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had a little
Toyota.
Celica.
All right.
All right. Well, it's getting near 8:30, folks, so we'll break the discussion here. And you folks sip on your coffee over there while I tell everybody about the weather forecast. Families in poverty... Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to be reading this one. Yeah. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646. Our forecast for today, beautiful, mostly sunny skies with a high of 80 degrees. And let's see, what else do we have? Calm wind till this afternoon when you have just a breath of a breeze from the west. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 55. Not bad. That's a degree cooler than our overnight low this past night. And on Tuesday, sunny with a high of 77. Wednesday, sunny and a high of 77. Thursday, sunny and a high of 80. Friday, mostly cloudy and a high of 77. But on Friday, we have a chance of some showers. Friday night, an even better chance of showers and thunderstorms. On Saturday, a few leftover showers early in the day, and then a partly sunny day with a high of 78. Sunday, mostly sunny and 82 as we start getting warmer and warmer next week. If you took this week off for vacation, like Callahan did, good choice. Good choice. We are.
August 1st, I have to believe.
Yes, crazy. Yeah. Where did July go? Where did June go?
It sounds like a good.
If you were waiting for a bus since June 1st, you'd know where it went.
But it sounds like a good week for the former Our Lady Queen of Martyrs parish.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity Carnival. Oh, I'm sorry. I had shut your microphone off
think you're gonna
because
have a pretty
I
good
wanted
week.
you to be able to kibitz
say it
with
again?
Melissa. Melissa, Denise just gave me the high sign that you were
Oh.
talking and we didn't hear you.
Okay,
So-
that's okay.
Sorry, my error.
Sometimes I'm a voice in the wilderness anyway, it doesn't matter. Queen of Martyrs, Holy Trinity Parish, is having its annual carnival this week, and the forecast you just read sounds like pretty good.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday,
Yeah, I
but
said pretty good,
Thursday
yeah.
night's fireworks
And the
I always look
weather,
at the weather there. It's going to be great.
the weather is everything when you do an outdoor event. No matter
yes.
what you do, no matter how hard you work, no matter what you
Did you come
plan.
through Park Square on your way in?
I
today?
did.
You saw all the Rockwell amusements.
They're
that
setting
were-
up
they came
as
in
we
yesterday.
speak. They came in yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, the annual tradition, and they're. I think they'll have a good week. I wish them well, knowing how hard they work to put it all together.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Romeo.
You're
Now
welcome.
we'll turn your microphone off again because it's time. I'm sorry, what?
I like the ads too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's time for us to go back to Milford for this message from Milford Federal Bank.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision making and a relationship based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, and MLS number 465956.
A great summertime activity is back at the Beef Barn. It's cruise night, and it takes place tomorrow night, starting at 4 p.m. Take a stroll through the more than 150 classic cars where you'll marvel at the beauty and craftsmanship of these automotive gems. Whether you're an avid collector or simply appreciate the nostalgia, Cruise Night at the Beef Barn is an event not to be missed. If you get hungry, the Beef Barn has their full menu, including their famous roast beef sandwiches, plus chowder and clam cakes. Cruise Night at the Beef Barn, 200 Industrial Drive, North Smithfield, Tuesday nights during the summer, starting at 4 p.m.
This Friday, August 4th, at the Levitamp Free Concerts at Woonsocket's River Island Art Park, we open with a woman who sings the truth beautifully, Alexis Lee.
All my life I've been trying to get right here. All my life I've been holding up this middle finger to the ones that I fear.
And then at 7:30, our headline performers, the superb vocal harmonies and pop music sound of Girls on Grass.
Come hang with me down at the bottom. Come play with me, girl.
Live music, food trucks, on-site bar, kids activities, and activities for everyone with the dynamic Jerry from Jerry's Bluffing Boutique. If you can't come this week, the concerts will be broadcast live over the air on ON AM and FM stereo radio and streamed live at wonsocketradio.com or watch in your home on your smart TV via the ON Worldwide channel on YouTube. The broadcast is sponsored in part by Buxton Hollow Farm in Woonsocket, PT Floors, Walls, and More, Fontaine Real Estate, Heavy Press Graphics, Landmark Medical Center, and State Senator Melissa Murray.
Oh,
There you are.
thank you for having
your
me. And always nice to sponsor Levitt. I love community events, as you
Yeah.
know.
Yes, I do. And thank you very much for the support. Levitt, looks like we have some showers on Friday. Stay tuned. The rosary beads have been mighty all season, and we'll see what happens. Didn't need the rosary beads last week. This week, I don't know. I think
Been
we
very
should,
lucky,
we
very
should
lucky.
yeah, that's right.
We might
You're
be
gonna have to
breaking
hang
the
a-
streak, but we'll see.
Just always
we'll
remember,
see.
there's always Plan B.
Yeah.
And if you're sharp, you join us indoors at the indoor venue. Can't fit as many people in the indoor venue, so we don't like to use it. But if it's necessary, we will. And of course, we'll have the concert on the air, regardless of where they perform it.
Yeah.
So it's obviously rain or shine. That's how it's been advertised.
Rain or shine concert.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You got
That's
it.
good. Well, you know what? You got to hang a clothesline outdoors here, and you need a clothesline to hang the rosary beads. If you don't have a clothesline, it won't
Really?
work. Yeah. They used to
I don't know how she does it. Meg Rigo takes care of that.
back in the 50s when they had we were talking about it off the air and on the air, but Queen of Martyrs Carnival. Father Gattery always asked his parishioners to hang a rosary bead on their clotheslines, because in those days very few people had dryers, you know. Very few people today have clotheslines. But
That's
that's
true.
true.
Anyway.
I still hang my clothes.
You do?
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
That's a rarity.
I'd like to, but it wouldn't
Yeah.
look good here at the stadium.
No, you can't have your, you know.
Can't have a clothesline across the parking lot.
Why
You
not?
can't.
Oh, come
No.
All right.
That wouldn't look good. Okay. Well, the MBTA is going to buy some electric buses.
Good.
Basically, because they don't have to pay for them.
Somebody
Yes.
has to pay for it.
Yes.
You'd be surprised just how green people can get when the federal government buys you 80 buses for $120 million.
That's right. All of a sudden, oh, yeah, this
we're
is a
going
great idea.
green.
We're doing it. We're going all green.
We can't run trains. We can't run buses. We can't run a transit system. But by golly, we can spend the federal government's money. That's for sure.
Free money.
And right, free
Yes,
money.
I
right.
know. You know, I'm being sarcastic. Folks who don't know me might think I'm being serious, but
But the real issue
being
here
snarky.
is that if you needed a bus, they're not going to get these till 2025 and 2026.
yeah.
I mean, they ordered 60 buses, $120 million contract. You would think that the company would be so impressed with that order that they would get them right out to you as soon as they could.
You would think.
No.
Well, maybe they can. Production. and
Well,
all,
I mean,
let's
if
take
you-
time.
Romeo, if you wanted to buy a car
Yes.
and you went down and you plunked down your money for that, well, probably $30,000 or $35,000 car is an average car these days.
That's
now,
right. Yeah.
Right. It's nothing really expensive.
Yeah.
You went down to the dealership and you gave them the $35,000. They said, "Okay, it's 2023. You test drove a 2023 model. You'll get yours in 2026. You won't even know if you like that model."
Then I'll take the money back and go somewhere else.
And you take the
Right.
money back and they go build somebody else's.
Yeah.
And you won't ever get one in 26 either.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yep. Well, again, maybe they don't have them yet. Maybe that's why, and
Right.
it might take time.
The parts
Yeah.
Build them
still
to
lag from
Yeah.
manufacturing, lag from COVID.
Vehicles change from year to year.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes for the best, and sometimes for the worse. And I guarantee not to lose your keys. This
Yeah.
little guy right here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I,
don't lose that. Don't
Oh,
ever
no.
lose that.
I know.
I
Right.
still have 2 keys, one for my door
Yeah,
and trunk, and one for my ignition.
Uh-huh.
And also, get your rosary beads out for me today because my car is going for inspection today.
So, okay.
Fun stuff.
Well, I know a
Mine's going in
guy.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be all set. Knock on wood.
I always get nervous around inspection time.
Everybody, like I
It's
always
like a
do
physical
too.
for your car.
No, it
don't know if
is
they're
because
gonna
you
find
don't
something
know,
wrong.
right?
And
Or
then-
like 10 things wrong,
Well,
right?
what they do is they put a red. I don't know what they do in Rhode Island, but in Massachusetts, it happened to me one year. And it was, if I may quickly tell this story, bought a new car about 10 years ago. I keep my cars for a long. Still have the car.
yeah.
It was 2013, and I went to the dealer where I bought the car for service. And while it's here, inspect the car. Okay, sure, we'll do. I figured, hey, brand new car, had about 4,000 miles on it. Guy comes out and says, I can't give you a sticker. I said, what? A brand new car. He says, are you out of them? No, I can't. As a matter of fact, my car had a big red R for like a
Reject.
scarlet letter. And it was on the car already. And I guess they have to do that if they don't pass. So I said,
Oh,
what
no.
happened? I bought the car from you guys. And I'm ripping a little bit, as most people would be. And I got, calm down. He says, the reason we couldn't give you a sticker is your back plate, we put like a light on it from 30 or 40 feet away, and we couldn't read it, your number plate. So he says, you have to go to the registry and get new plates. And when you come back, we'll take the thing off, we'll scrape it off.
Oh.
I said, well, why didn't you tell me that before? I would have put the front plate on the back plate, because it was only the back plate they were interested in. The front plate was perfect.
The contrast was bad.
But
right?
the good plate was in the front. And in Massachusetts, at one time, you only needed one plate. And I told him, why don't you just switch the town? Too late. We already, registered.
You already
it.
had that scarlet
And
letter.
I bought the car from these people. I was, you would have been enraged. I was, and then I had to go to the registry on that day because I didn't want to drive around with that big R.
Did you have to get different plates?
It was pouring. Yes.
You had to
It
get a
was-
different plate.
It was pouring. I lost my plates. I got them. I waited in line, but the registry of Mass isn't as bad as the experiences I've had in other states. Won't mention any other. And
I think we can
I got new
guess.
plates. It took me about 3 or 4 hours. It was the day before Thanksgiving. It was pouring rain. I went back to the dealer in the afternoon. Wow, you did this quick. Okay, drive it in. And another 2 hours later, I got my inspection sticker.
Well, your
And
They
whole
take the R
day.
off.
Oh, they took it off. But the point is, my whole day was ruined because of. And I told him, I says, couldn't you just have told me this before you even brought the car in? We have that equipment that tells us the equipment is in
Yes.
the garage. Blah, blah, blah.
And they are supposed to do that in Rhode Island.
And
also.
basically,
check the readability of your plates.
Objectively, they were right. It's just the way they did it. And the guy was so like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Well, brand new. Come on, you would think a little
Wait,
bit.
did you
of-
lose a vanity plate?
Oh no.
Oh,
No, no.
okay.
And you know what? It hurt my relationship with them tremendously because I never went back there. I was
Mm-hmm.
so upset. And they are a local dealer. They sell a lot of cars. But I'm sorry. It was just a bad experience. That's
Well,
all.
hopefully
Yeah.
I won't have any
I didn't mean
issues.
to-
My
no.
and my plate is
Make sure
like
your plate is
nice
clean.
and it's very clean. It's nice and
Well, we know your plate is full.
yeah,
which
my
is-
plate is full.
Good.
My
It's clean. Yeah.
my plate is
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
the rest of the stuff and
Yeah.
it's not like I
Yeah.
waited until the last day in July, right?
Today's the last day of July. You may wait in line.
I may have
That's a
waited
busy
little
day
too
for
long.
them. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Oh
I'm,
well.
I'm sure things will all work
I'm
out. in the
sure
long
it'll
run.
Good
work
luck.
out.
Good luck with the
Yeah.
physical for your car. That's
I know.
what it is.
I know. It's just like a physical. You're
Yeah,
right.
it
When
is.
you go in, you're like,
And you
oh
get
my
to-
gosh, what's gonna happen?
And you get just as nervous because if you don't get a sticker, what do? You can drive around for I think 10 days before you have whatever that you need.
To
yeah, you
resolve
gotta get
the
it
matter,
fixed.
yeah.
Whatever it is,
Still,
it's
you
got to
get
get fixed.
You get
That's
that
it.
big R,
Gotta,
reject.
gotta result. Well, I hope they don't do that. That
They
would be
probably
very-
don't in Rhode Island.
No, I don't think
know
they
what
do that.
Okay, they do in Mass.
Update on the Christmas Tree Shop's bankruptcy in Massachusetts. They're closing a bunch of them.
Yep. Heard
And they
that.
closed this weekend, actually.
Ugh.
So yesterday was the last day for the store in Natick, North Dartmouth, Orleans, Pembroke, and West Dennis. Nothing near here.
My wife is going to go into a deep depression.
And I think the one in Attleboro is still around, isn't it?
Okay, well that'll.
That's the one that
That
we
I
would
don't
go
know.
to, right?
Yeah, right.
Christmas Tree Shop?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's
Folks,
a shame.
We have to take a little break here. We'll be right back after these words, including one of Romeo's favorite commercials. Coming up.
Yes.
Remote car starters are great to have in the summertime. They can cool off the inside of your car when the sun is blazing. Stop by Inferno Audio on Clinton Street in Woonsocket and speak to Keith about how easy it is to have a remote car starter installed in your vehicle. Now, if your air conditioner isn't working in your car, no problemo. Inferno Audio can make it work. So don't drive around with a hot car burning your fingertips. That's not safe. Plus, they can make car keys for any make or model of vehicle, and the price will be far less than the dealership would tell you. Stop in today and see Keith at Inferno Audio, 160 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, just next to KFC. It's coming. It's the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival at the Parish Grounds on Park Square in Woonsocket. Wednesday, August 2nd through Saturday, August 5th. Ride all the Rockwell rides Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon with a one price rides all bracelet. The Holy Trinity Carnival Kitchen and Parish Games open from 6 to 11. Food trucks featuring Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, Spanish cuisine and bugged out barbecue, classroom bingo and entertainment every night. Plus fireworks Thursday night and a Saturday matinee. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival, Wednesday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 5th. Make your plans to be there.
Hi, this is Joanne Forcier Hebert, calling for all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant in Glendale, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories of our past and creating new ones. Please call Linda Barad Senecal at 401-766-3134 for more information. We also have a Facebook page, Woonsocket High Class of 1978, to find out more information also. Hope to see you there.
All right, we're back here on Coffee Ann on WON Radio, AM and FM, and of course ON TV as well. Dave Richards here along with Melissa Murray and Romeo Berthium, and you got a chance to hear your ad. Thank you for the
Very nice.
Holy Trinity
Yeah.
Carnival coming up on Wednesday. We'll be there with our live broadcast at 6 o'clock on Wednesday to kick the whole thing off. And we'll be there broadcasting live on the final hour as well on Saturday night when they have the drawing for the 50-50,
That's
etc.
right. Yes. When I was on the committee, members of the committee said, we'll advertise on ON only if that guy does that commercial. I said, what guy? You know, the guy says, oh, the one you, that would be Dave. So you were in demand even then, Dave.
Oh, really? They liked the commercial that much?
They did.
Well, that's flattering. Thank you.
Now I've learned some major points about that raise.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, here's something. Everybody makes mistakes on the job, but sometimes you make mistakes on the job that anybody could do.
Yeah.
But the consequences are enormous.
Especially in this business.
Try this one. Try this one out, Romeo.
Yeah.
You work for the Steamship Authority, which runs that little ferry between Woods Hole
Martha's Vineyard.
and Monmouth.
Nantucket. Yeah.
Back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And you tie up the boat. And you don't tie it up too good. Later on, they see it drifting out into the harbor, not attached to the dock. No captain, no crew, no passengers, just drifting out into the harbor.
The ferry.
Can you imagine that? Oh, I thought I told you to lash that down. Sure I did. You didn't tie it very tight. Oh, I thought I did.
Uh-oh. He's gone.
No
Yeah.
anchor?
Well, you don't anchor at the dock. You don't drop an anchor when you're at the dock.
You just
I'm
wrap
sure
it
it
up.
has
That's
an
good.
anchor
That
on
shows
it.
how much I know.
The
right?
Coast Guard would demand that it has an anchor on it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
not deployed, because when you are tied up to a dock, you don't deploy the anchor.
So what happened? You know, did the guy get in trouble?
Well,
Should have. I wouldn't want to be that guy.
the Coast Guard was called,
Okay.
and some volunteers from Woods Hole came out in little Boston whalers, and they boarded it, got it started, brought it back to the dock. It's the MV San Katie is the particular vessel. They
Yep.
all have names, right? And it was not damaged, and has been cleared to continue its work and the sail out to sea by the Coast Guard.
Okay.
It's just one of those things.
Oops.
I thought you tied that up.
And they don't
I
say
thought I tied that up too.
they don't say what happened to the guy responsible for
It
tying
doesn't
it
go
up.
into
All
it.
right.
It's more like, oh,
Leaves it-
I thought you tied that up. Oh, no, I thought you did it.
Leaves
Maybe
it
nobody
to your
did it.
imagination.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's a big little mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way to
Now,
describe it.
in this world of social media, there's occasionally things that happen that aren't advertised, they're not sanctioned, they're not permitted, nothing. They just happen. Like flash mobs used to happen, right? Nobody knew it except the perpetrators. And I say perpetrators because not this weekend, but the previous weekend. Oh no, that's wrong. It was this weekend. I'm sorry, on Saturday. On Saturday, the last Saturday in July. A bunch of people just like message each other and I'll say, let's all get together on the north end of Prudence Island and share it.
Okay.
And 1,000 boats show up in one little area. And personal watercraft, jet skis and stuff like that.
Oh no.
They call it Aquapalooza.
They have music?
There's no admission. There's no
You
band.
just show up.
There's no food. You just show up with your boat. 1,000 boats did it. And of course, with all those boats discharging into the water, if you know what I'm talking about, they have now shut down 700 acres of shell fishing beds
In Prudence? At Prudence?
off the north end of Prudence
Yeah.
Island because
Okay.
there was such a concentration of pleasure craft that
Wow.
they feel that they can't trust the shellfish not having been polluted.
Which they test. They test those shellfish constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And if they pass, they have a nice dinner.
That's right.
You see the guys working for DEM? Hey, where'd you get these test subjects?
I have a friend who lives on Prudence Island, and he is a shellfisher. He must be very upset.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is busy
I'll have
season.
I'll have to
revenue.
contact them.
Well, yeah, because all the different resorts and
Yeah,
things like that
of course.
all along the coast
Yeah.
are all selling buku shellfish.
Right. Everyone loves to eat shellfish in the summer.
Sure,
I
of
mean, I
course.
eat it all year
Yeah.
round, but
Yeah, right.
Wow.
A Delta airline flight from Boston to Newark, New Jersey, was forced to return to Logan International post haste. The plane returned to Logan shortly after takeoff yesterday, after authorities learned that a passenger on board allegedly threatened the flight's safety.
Oh.
The threat was reported to a police agency in New Jersey. They were cleared to turn back because they were closer to Boston than they were New Jersey, and the passenger was ceremoniously escorted off the aircraft.
good.
They did say that the person was found to not be capable of endangering or threatening the flight.
Yeah.
And it says nobody's been charged over the incident. That doesn't sound right.
They should
Yeah,
charge him,
that's
yeah.
a federal
could-
charge, isn't
he-
it? Right.
yeah.
So
He may have been inebriated.
Could be.
At the point. That
It happens to people.
Could have been.
well, not capable. I assume would mean that the person didn't have
Have
any like
weapons. or-
weapons, but
Yeah.
Well, there was
you wouldn't.
any-
We wouldn't have.
There wasn't anything they could have done to carry out their threat, I guess, is what they were saying.
Yeah. yeah.
Talk is cheap. I have a good solution to that. I mean, not solution, but a punishment, if you will, penalty.
Put that person on a no-fly list.
That or make him pay for the fuel that they wasted to have to go back to.
That's a big.
Come
That's a
on.
good one. That's a
yeah,
good one.
why not?
But what
Don't do
about
it.
all those other people who
I
got
know.
into Newark late?
Yeah.
And missed their flights, and yeah,
That's
you
right,
just
could've
like
missed a
ruined
connecting
hundreds
flight.
of people's
Yeah,
lives
well,
just
Very
because
common
you're.
for you to leave from Logan to get to
Of
Newark,
course.
and then you get on another aircraft for another destination.
Right.
Very, very
Overseas.
common.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
right. Very common.
On the
So-
West Coast.
Yeah. So the big consequences there, and I
Yeah.
think the guy should
Yeah,
should
pay.
not skate on this.
Literally pay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally pay. That's kind of cool.
You
here's
can't
something.
pay if you don't have the ability to pay. Also,
Oh, put you on
right?
in the installment
Can't get
plan.
blood from a stone.
It'll take you 10 years to pay this off.
Here's
Every
an
month you
interesting
send the check.
here's an interesting story
Yeah.
here from Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the performer Cardi B.
I am.
And Melissa is.
I'm not.
So, Romeo, you'll have to set this one out on the bench.
I'll listen. I'm a good listener.
It has been happening, especially since the pandemic, more and more that people, there's always been people who don't know how to behave themselves in public, but they act out. They throw things at the performers on stage. Many times the perimeter is established and They can't reach the person on stage. Well, that's not what happened in this club in Las Vegas because Cardi B is doing their thing.
Yep.
They do rap and singing and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Okay, so
She took matters into her own hands. Someone threw their drink at the rapper while she was performing at that club in Las Vegas. Doesn't say which club. And Cardi just looked up, took the only thing in her hand, the microphone, and threw it at the person who threw the drink and bopped them.
And then,
Seriously,
goodness.
bopped them. And pointed at them. And of course, immediately afterwards, that person was escorted out of the building, probably blackballed, that they couldn't come back in again, and like that. There's a video that's going around social media, shows parts of that, and she was mouthing something at the person as they were being taken out, while security is handing her microphone back to her to continue. Now, I don't know. I was always taught that if the audience is being unruly, if you're a comedian, heckle them back. If you're not, generally speaking, you don't acknowledge misbehavior by your audience. I realize I'm a little longer in the tooth than most performers, and I get it that it's a different world that we're living in. But I always learned in elementary school that the more you pay attention to the misbehavior, the more misbehavior you get.
plus those microphones are expensive.
I know that.
You know,
I
the
was
ro-
thinking, I'm sure that person is going to sue her
Oh yeah,
for
injury. Yeah,
pain and
yeah.
suffering, whatever it is, right? And I mean, if someone throws their drink on me, I'm gonna
Take
be,
the chance.
I'm
and
gonna
get
be pretty
sued.
mad,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
More than likely-
throw anything at them, but I'm gonna call them out. I think calling that person out and having the crowd,
More than
heckle
likely,
them.
the judge or the jury will be sympathetic to you and not to the perpetrator. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
You
Well, I
never
don't know what you want to talk about. We only have a couple of minutes left. I'll throw out just a couple of possible
Ooh,
things that.
can I talk about an event that is coming
Yeah,
up?
surely. Sure.
Dinner on the Bridge,
Yeah.
August 26th. It's a Saturday. It's coming up quickly.
There's a deadline for the tickets though, because there's food involved, right?
There's right. So and I don't have it in front of me, but about a week before the event, we will close off ticket sales, and once they're closed, that's it. Because when we do this,
no
in fairness
amount of
to
whining and pleading.
That's right. Nope. And we've done that in years past, and then it's just can I just get one more ticket?
Yeah.
It's very unfair to the chef that is
Yeah,
having to do
of
this
course.
multi-course meal, and for the people who are providing the
Out
desserts
of doors
and
on a bridge.
outdoors on a bridge.
Lots of pressure.
Lots of planning. So we need to know, how many tickets are going to be sold. So we have the entire menu, and No Exit 4 is the entertainment that night. There's going to be dinner, dancing, cocktails.
No Exit 4 is entertaining?
Yes,
They're great.
we're pretty.
We're trying to get a
Pretty
good
classy.
recording of them to put
Yeah.
on the radio here because they're worthy of being on the air here.
They're local, right?
Yeah.
So, yep. And a local person is Mike Hiru, who is doing
I like
all of our food for us.
Yep.
We're really excited about that. So if you want to go look at the menu, buy tickets, it's dwc02895.org. And it's always a really fun event. It's we close down the Court Street Bridge.
Yep.
We have dinner on the bridge, dance, mingle, have fun,
Yeah.
watch the sunset over the Blackstone River. It's really, really a nice time.
Rain or shine.
No.
Okay.
One year.
Just
One
thought-
year.
1 year it was a wetter.
One year we got rained on for like an hour and a half, and there was a 2% chance of rain.
Oh.
2% chance of rain. We talked about it all day. Dave and I, it looks great. It's going to be perfect. And then, wouldn't you know, and it only rained in Woonsocket. But you know what? Nobody left. Not a single person left.
That's good.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be unpleasant and we know it ahead of time
Right.
Cancel it.
Then the rain
Re-
date is the next
reschedule.
day.
That's-
The rain
Oh,
date is
that's
the
good.
27th.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now,
on Sunday.
when was the last time they had the dinner on the bridge? Was it last year?
It was the year before last,
Okay.
and that was the rain
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then-
wow.
And then we just whipped up a playlist. We played all songs that had to do with rain, and people just
Oh,
loved it, and they were
raindrops
singing
keep
together.
falling,
And
yeah, that's good.
I mean, but we It was unusual. It was a fun time, but we hope that that doesn't happen
It's
again.
too bad the legislature is not in session right now, because you could pass some sort of a law saying no rain on that day.
Oh, yes, you
dear.
know, I'm that powerful.
I know.
That's being silly, Romeo.
Of course
I
it
have
is.
I have gotten
We have
yelled
to
at
use that,
for
yeah.
for the weather
You
when I was
have?
on the council.
It's
I-
your
Of
fault.
course, of course.
Your
It-
fault.
It snowed a lot
Well,
that
people
year.
like to vent. People like to vent.
Yeah, but your fault.
So an elected official is
What'd
going
you
to
do
get
to-
it.
Did you do a rain dance? I mean,
No, apparently it snowed too much, and they were mad
Well, folks,
at me.
we did get a chance to talk about Madonna recovering.
she's back.
But before we go, I did want to just mention one thing, that they passed a law in Ukraine over the weekend. Ukrainian President Zelensky signed the law into law. So now it's the law of the land in all of Ukraine that Christmas Day is December 25th.
okay.
They had for a long time celebrated it on the Orthodox date of January 7th. But since that's what Russia does, they're changing it to their friends who are helping them
Okay.
get
I
away
under-
from
I-
Russia
I
to the
understand.
25th.
Good.
I understand that. Now,
Yep.
I was going to say, while there's a war raging, they passed this ridiculous law, but
sounds
now I
silly,
understand.
but
It's
it
not,
isn't.
It's not.
Symbolic, right?
Got it. I understand.
Right.
that. All right.
So
good.
now the legal holiday in Ukraine for Christmas Day
December
will
25th.
not be January 7th. It will be December 25th.
No fighting on that day either.
Oh, we certainly hope not, don't we?
Well, isn't January 6th the 12th day of Christmas?
It
right?
is.
Yeah,
But the
so-
Orthodox calendar, Dave is right. They
Yeah,
they
that's
celebrate
right.
Christmas a week later, 2 weeks later.
Time for us to go. Melissa, how about a final comment?
Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy the beautiful weather.
You bet. And Romeo Berthiaume.
Well, I always say always a pleasure, but I'll tell you, Joe Callahan, who's usually here on Mondays when I'm here, picked a good week to be out. He knew.
think he did.
He had the inside track on the weather. I'm sure he did.
Have a great vacation, Joe.
He's listening.
Now
Enjoy
I know
your
why you
vacation.
kept asking me all those questions about the last week. Eh?
And Dave, you did a good job as moderator. You should do this more often.
I don't think so.
You've done.
think so,
You've done
Romeo.
this. You've done this before. I can tell.
I'm afraid
Maybe
I have.
a few
yeah.
times.
Well, you stuck with me for the rest of the week, folks,
Oh,
and
no.
we'll see how things go tomorrow when we'll have some more nice people in here to talk about what's going on in the world. Thanks for joining us today, and if you missed any portion of our program, pick it up on demand at wonsocketradio.com. Coming up next, Leslie Page is in the house. Well, with check the news first, so she gets a chance to get out of makeup and into her chair and all set to go. Check a little bit of news. Lou will check the sports for you. Quick look at the weather forecast. Then Leslie and Karen Zangari will be here for Food First up next. All here on ON Radio. Thanks for being with us today.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The body of a missing teenager has apparently been found in Westerly.